morning, Germany, and welcome to your final day of the Dreamleague Season 13 Major. We've got ourselves Evil Geniuses versus Vici Gaming. What a way to start the day. This is going to be a fun series, Lizard, for sure.
It looks like a fun draft from both of these teams. We have an Arc Warden on one side, Naga on the other. Maybe not considered the most fun heroes to watch, but definitely the game can go 70 plus minutes if they play their cards right.
Yeah, we may be seeing some tier 5 items. Of course, both of these teams are going to try and switch things up a little bit, not just in the draft, but I think, Lizard, you were saying maybe in the lanes as well.
Yeah, exactly, because there are different matchups here. You have Arc Warden and Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit later on is really good versus Naga. However, in the laning stage, you want to put that Naga versus Arc Warden somehow. As the Flux doesn't do anything, you have illusions to deal with the spark rates, and that's why maybe we will see some switch-ups. You can see them. They're dancing around this mid lane. Both OD and Naga are there.
Meanwhile, OD abuses melee heroes, especially, right? So if you do get the matchup against the Ember, you could see they're just moving back and forth around the map. It looks like Abed wants to go mid, but we'll have to see if the Ember Spirit ends up there. Then Arteezy is perfectly fine in being able to take that matchup as well. They've actually both got shared tangos just in case they do. You can even see the aggressive mid vision on both sides. Nobody's really showing a whole lot of information just
waiting.
yet.
They're just waiting. Both of them want to go mid, but it looks like the OD, he has already bought a lot of region.
Both of these carries are hanging around the mid lane. Both of them are waiting for the other to show. This is certainly already starting out to be a fun mind game between two very experienced teams.
But look at this, Ember shows up, instantly Naga goes back and OD is coming in. But Arc Warden is around too, and he can go away, he's coming back.
Eurus is going to leave now. Ori's going to show up. He wants the matchup against the OD. After all, he's a ranged hero against the OD. Plus, you've got the magnetic field.
What a way to start.
Now, are we just going to go back and forth, Lizard?
Well, it looks like Abed is coming back, but mostly because TYW was chasing him through the jungle, and now he has to move back.
We'll see what these supports can do to interfere in this this musical chairs that we're experiencing right now. Yours coming back in once again.
Just to stay 2-on-2. Just play it out like that. Look, they're actually
you let the 4 positions turn into a carry, man.
All right, this is insane.
All right, we're just gonna hang it out. Both teams are waiting for the other to blink. You move. No. You're going to move first.
This is a first. This is a first. I haven't seen this in a while, but it looks like Ori is the one to budge. It looks like he's the first one to leave, but Naga instantly Abed, he's following him.
They're finally committing, it looks like, and Arteezy is going to get the matchup that he wants out of this. He's going to be mid against a melee hero. He can abuse him with the imprisonment. We're going to have the Naga Siren head up top against the Arc Warden. It does mean our side lanes, our supports got a little jump on the game.
They're the happiest ones right now. As a support or an offlaner in a game such as this one, in which you don't have those supports to zone you out, you're just taking all the experience and gold and you feel great.
I feel like this is a win for EG in 2 different ways. They got the matchups that they wanted, and I think Clockwork has probably got to be the most influential hero with levels in this game, right? You get him to an early level 3 and he's a killer.
He definitely did benefit a lot. One bad thing for them that happened is that Ember got a lot of last hits. He's 8-3 on that mid lane versus an OD that has 3 last hits altogether, so yeah, that's a small upside for VG.
We'll see whether or not Arteezy can bring it back with the imprisonment spamming. And he's got a healthy wave underneath the tower as well. There is also the advantage. Looks like our Doom did very well in CS. That matchup can be a little awkward in a Batten versus a melee hero, but it looks like he walked away the better of it.
Especially when you get level 2, and you get that level 2 score, sure, it's much better. Top lane,
DY getting caught. If they can get this kill, it would be pretty good for EG. The first blood is still uncontested, but Eurus is here, and he's going to try and finish up Abed. The mirror image going out. Abed wants to be able to try and finish up DY before he dies, but he can't get it. And Vici Gaming are the ones to claim first blood.
And you can see Arc Warden instantly. Is he going to move? He actually TPs towards the mid lane. Now the problem is, because he did that, Naga will TP on the mid lane too, and OD will go top.
Beautiful body blocking here. Ramsey's left alone in this bottom lane. Was expecting just a 1v1, but PYW being here might be able to get the kill. The Devour, the 2 levels of Devour is just giving him too much reach, and the Euphonic Shield will allow them to be able to dive the tower here. PYW, the miscoil as well. If he can get out of vision, he'll dodge the Euphonic Shield pop. And now get off the healing salve. He gets that up, turns around, hits PYW once. He'll live, but his lane is kind of screwed now because he lost his regen.
Ember, because he rotates top, and OD goes top as well. You have the perfect setup for the cogs, for the clock battery assault with that astral imprisonment. So they do take down the Ember Spirit, but they're still dancing around these lanes. Ember now goes mid, Naga rotates top, Arc Warden rotates top. Is this ever gonna stop, Cap?
It seems like it never will. Arteezy shows up, says hello to Eurus. We'll take the nice creep wave that's pushing in. 2 range creeps for him as well, so bounty of experience awaits him. Back over to Abed, who's been sometimes I feel like a lot of times he's just one creating space in the game, but as a Naga Siren, it's certainly a different kind of game for Abed than the majority we've seen this turn.
I think we see 2 heroes on 2 sides that are going to be creating space. That's going to be OD for EG, definitely, and on the other side it has to be the Ember. It's going to be Eurus. So Naga and the Arc Warden, they're your fallback balls. You wait for them, you wait for that farm later on.
It's funny how even though he's a Naga Siren and you want him to get golden levels, he's still the one who's getting the short end of the stick compared to Arteezy, level 3 to level 5 OD.
That doesn't have to be necessarily right. You have to think about timings, and that's what they're thinking about right now. You want to have your playmaker, the one that's going to do the most around the 10 to 15 minute mark. You want to have him have the best start.
That Pastor Aghanims will add in a lot of team fight.
Exactly, and on the other side you want Eurus, you want that Ember Spirit to get fast level 7 so that he can be the one creating space, rotating across the map and playmaking.
Yeah, certainly before level 6, he's not able to do a whole lot against that OD, so they switch it up once again.
Yeah, we see Ember mid, Arc Warden instantly going back top, but Crit is having a blast. He's level 4 after the skill. Yeah. This should be easy. There are sticks on the UI, but
Arteezy makes sure to take the last hit with the imprisonment.
That's also level 4 right there for Crit. He's having such a good time. By the way, he started with such great items. He has Tranquils already, and he bought that Windlaze. So even if you're not imprisoned, he will be able to catch you. On mid lane, now they use that.
Oh, the Ember Spirit still doesn't have his level 6. Crit is here, but underneath the creep wave, they actually push him and get him a little bit closer to Arteezy. With the Avalanche, they should be enough to finish up our tour. Can Eurus get out? A Fairy Fire is going to be enough. Crit has to back away.
Man, PYW, this guy, when you give him heroes such as Tiny, such as Elder Titan and Doom, he's always in the right position at the right time to help you out. He doesn't need that mobility, and he shines on these beefy boys that you just have to cast one spell or two and tank some tower hits. That's all. He gets a kill right there.
And they know they just needed a little bit of a helping hand to that Ember Spirit, then he'll be able to get his level 6. And not only did he walk away from that engagement, he picked up a regen rune, so he's now going to have both his ultimate and full health, full mana. Now PYW cutting across, Ori showing up in his bottom lane to help get the kill onto Ramsey's 3-2.
And they give it to Ori as well, and that's so good for him because he's only level 4. Now you got to kill on a level 6 Doom. Yeah, you share the experience 3 ways, but still, it's an amazing kill. However, Naga will port back bottom, and they are not allowing Ori to have his game. I think most likely he's the one that suffers from these changes the most, because as an Arc Warden, you want to get that level 6 as soon as possible. Not only does it allow you to get higher kill potential, but you farm faster.
Right.
Also, that level 10 is really important for Arc Warden because of the cooldowns.
Oh, trying to get the Doom out. Oh! Jumps away and actually managed to finish off Fly. Now DY was locked in by the cold feet, didn't get far enough away, so they will trade out supports here.
So far, in the games that we have watched from EG, Ramsey's the CIS boy. He has been that stable rock that if you give him the good laning stage, he will just provide you with so much utility in the mid game. I think it's really important for EG to give him a good game, and so far he's been doing great. Second on network charts. Yeah,
we certainly saw that from his Timbersaw in the series yesterday, and hopefully he will be able to do the same on his Doom. But it's Eurus who's topped the net worth board, and he's ready to move. ready to shake things up. If they actually get this Invis rune, it would be a nice start, but Crit actually spots it, trying to get out the cogs to push the heroes away, and the Invis is picked up by UIW. Now he's going to be able to toss him back into the Ember Spirit, who already has a Frost Shield on top of it as well. No chance of an imprisonment. Vici Gaming have too many heroes here for our tour.
What did I tell you about UIW? Always in the right position at the right time.
He certainly does seem to have a strong knack for it. It seems like one advantage Vici Gaming have here is something that links back to what the panel was a little bit puzzled about. They weren't sure about that Ancient Apparition, and right now, with all this lane movement, the two supports on the side of Vici Gaming, they can be active, they can help get kills, but an Ancient Apparition, especially pre-level 6, he doesn't really lead a whole lot.
Both of these position 5s are suffering if the lanes are moving a bit too much. Lich wants to be casting Frost Blast all the time in the lane, so he doesn't like moving way too much and fly. It's not about the harass, it's about levels. You want to get that level 6 on your Ancient Apparition as soon as possible.
And he was quite sacrificial at the very start. He actually didn't get in that experience range. He gave it all the crit just to get those early levels. So he's going to have to find a way to recover, perhaps with the Tome, if Crit can actually just get level 6 on it.
He's farming top, but bottom lane, I think, where's the action? Ori? Should be fine right now, but Ramses, he is rotating around.
Yeah, and they...
Okay, that spark rate, it's so good.
Oh, yeah.
But the illusion, man...
The illusion breaks that spark rate, allowing Ramses to get a little bit closer, but the Tempest double coming out, reading that movement from EG, prevents EG from being able to commit to that tower dive.
Yeah, once that Arc Warden pops his replicate, you can't go in. You just can't go on the clone as well, because they will have so many spark rates around that tower, and even if you get on top of the Arc Warden, they will strike back. You have an Ember with an amazing counter-attack potential.
Well, he gets the battery rune, but he won't be able to get the outpost, at least not initially. He still has the battery assault, which will push them back. As it fades, though, who's going to be able to make that play? EG want to be able to grab both of them as they manage to nab that bottom lane first.
Crit actually already has his level 6 on the top lane. He's been given a lot. And because of that, maybe the Ancient Apparition will be given the Tome. If that's the case, they can do so much in the next couple of minutes together.
Yeah, they've got some decent setups for it. They've got Ensnare, Hook Shot into Cogs, as well as the Imprisonment, all to be able to lead into an Ice Blast. EG holding a slight lead in net worth, but it's never been more than 1K, and they do have a Doom after all, who's getting just that extra bit of efficiency, so it's not surprising.
It's mostly that. As you can see on the net worth, he's just below the OD. He has spent quite a lot of time just rotating between mid and the bottom lane, trying to create some plays. And I think it's necessary for him. I don't know if it's the greatest plan for EG and the way they've played before, but it's necessary for him to be doing that, as OD isn't truly ready yet.
Smoke up into the top lane. Vici Gaming look to be able to either find a pick-off here and then turn it into a tower, or just a full tower assault, and EG are already on the other side of the map, so both teams will just have to commit here.
They just scouted them. They know where they are exactly. So on the bottom lane, they will take this tower without worrying. Same will happen on top. But now, I'm fairly certain EG knows that they're coming mid, because they saw them put that sentry. They had a ward. And they were smoked as well, so they saw the sentry. They know exactly where Vici Gaming is.
There is the advantage that Vici Gaming has, an Abaddon, a hero that allows you to be able to push towers a bit faster than the enemy, so EG have to be aware of that, have to kind of read those movements, and that's why they have already kind of rotated some heroes mid.
At the moment, they're very similar, Ramses and Yang, in what they do. You have these drums, you have some passive, you have some push and some utility for your team, and they're literally the frontliners. They're completely mirroring each other's movements, and I think it's understandable because you have very similar drafts.
Yeah.
You have Naga and Dark Warden, very similar. OD and Ember. In what these heroes are supposed to be doing, the strategies collide.
You can see both the Arc Warden and Naga Siren have done similar things in being able to push out a lane, but not have any risk associated. They just have the illusion in the dangerous lane where the enemy is trying to gank. Vici Gaming Kind of got stymied there by Naga Siren Illusion. They're going to try and rotate around that mid area. EG not approaching.
There's a first smoke coming from EG. They still understand that that Vici Gaming are in their own woods, and Crit is leading the charge.
It looks like they're going to try and flush him out here. Crit. His smoke has got a break, goes to the hook shot, actually lands on an Invis. Ember doesn't realize it. Sentry's going to be dropped. Eurus is able to get away. The toss up in the air by PYW. They're going to try and close that distance. Will manage to grab this Tiny, but a Chain Frost going up may turn things around. It's Ramsey's already dropping dangerously low. Is going to fall. They do manage to get the kill on PYW, but Crit now being slowed down by the Flux. The Spark Wraith in his way is going to be latched onto him, as well as the fall. Looks like he's going to be falling here. The imprisonment over to mid. Crit. That last Spark Wraith is going to slow him down a little bit. If they hit him at one more time, oh, that doesn't land. Another Spark Wraith is up, but he jukes downwards. Can he somehow get out of this with a TP up? Vici not going to be able to spot him in time. Crit, smooth moves. Barely managed to get away.
Great play by Crit. On the mid lane, you weren't watching, but Abaddon was trying to go with the Ember on the OD. However, Arteezy manages to survive too. Good plays. Very unfortunate for EG and very fortunate for Vici Gaming the way they positioned the Ember. He broke the smoke and he broke the hookshot. So I think all things considered, both of these teams should be satisfied with the way that engagement went.
Yeah. What a world of difference it would have been if they'd gotten that engagement on the high ground. The fact they chased PYW down allowed Ori to be able to get a little bit closer, and it was a pretty easy Doom kill for them. PYW is closing in on that Blink Dagger as well. So that'll be another initiating tool for Vici Gaming.
On the side of EG as well, you have to be thinking about gap closing. You have to be thinking about these kind of items. You already have Clock, who's really good at doing that.
Right.
And perhaps you don't have to necessarily itemize on every single hero in that way. Maybe you don't even need a blink on that Doom right away, because you have the song, so you have the setup. Top lane?
Great. He's going to be caught here. Another rotation from Vici Gaming with Smoke. His 15-minute bounty runes are spawning. Figure it's a good opportunity to invade that jungle once again.
All of these skills are really good for them, but the most important thing what they're doing is they're invading the dire jungle, which literally gives you more space to farm. Arc Warden, he wants to be farming in the safest possible positions. That's why he's in that triangle and only a little bit around mid lane. But Naga, you need some space for her on the side of EG as well, and that's why they're doing literally the same. They're pushing with Doom and the Arc Warden in the Radiant jungle.
Arteezy's going to get away from that mid lane. Vici Gaming with this Siege Wagon push. I wonder if they're just going to go for it. And how does EG respond here? Doesn't seem like they're really ready to take a team fight, but at the same time, giving up your mid tower.
I'm not sure they will give it this up. The clone has already been used. Once it disappears, you could perhaps make an action here.
And Mr. Baden. That Curse of Avernus does so much with the Siege Wagon and with some teammates too. So that tower, Evil Geniuses, they don't want to give it up, but they felt like they just couldn't find an opening into a team fight.
I have a feeling they gave it up way too early.
Yeah.
You had the clock there, but Crit, sadly for them, did die on that top lane, and he wasn't really in position just yet for the right angle of that hookshot. And obviously Maelstrom was completed on Ori. A lot of damage was dished out by the Arc Warden too.
Yeah, there is a big difference between our two illusion-based carries and the Arc Warden and the Naga Siren. Naga Siren a lot slower than this Arc Warden, especially with the builds that we've been seeing from these Arc Wardens involving the Wraith Bands into early Mjolnir and Treads.
Yeah, we saw different players do different builds on Arc Warden. We've seen even 4 Wraith Bands. Ori decided to go for only 1 plus the Maelstrom. I think when it comes to neutral items, Abed did get the better end because he does have that Vambrace plus 1 Wraith Band. I think this Naga will come online very soon. After that Manta is completed, he could start fighting already.
What about this OD? Looks like Hurricane Pike is going to be the build for Arteezy as he needs to find a way to get away from this Abandoned Ember Spirit. They're going to be chasing him down.
That's very, very peculiar. We don't see the usual Aghanims build. I wonder what the Arteezy's reasoning behind this is. As you just said, there is definitely gap close on the side of Vici Gaming as well. But when you get that Aghanims, you have multiple saves too. So it has its upsides and downsides.
Eurus, the only way they can really kill him here, so they can imprisonment into an instant stun from the cogs. but then you don't really have any follow-up after that.
It was such a difficult kill. They had to make everything pitch perfect.
I mean, even still, that would have been like at most 2.5 seconds of stun.
Maybe hookshot into the cogs, moving you away into the AA blast.
Yeah, I guess maybe the OD mana burn as well. That could be something.
As his shield is expiring, maybe, but very difficult.
Just felt like such a long shot from EG, and perhaps they're getting a little bit desperate to try.
They're getting really good items now. Grove Bow is also picked up on the tiny, already given to Ori on his Arc Warden, obviously.
So good.
Yeah, he's getting really good items, and I don't know if this spike is going to be super useful for Arteezy, because you are playing versus an Arc Warden. He will be constantly using that magnetic field in the fights.
Right. You're gonna have a hard time landing those orbs. That being said, you know, Vici Gaming, it definitely feels like they're stronger than EG right now. Their cores peak out around this mid-game timing very nicely. They've got a really good off-laner to be able to lead the charge in towers, but Vici Gaming still don't have that big of a network lead. EG is still finding a way to add efficiency.
It's the Doom effect, and also you're playing versus Naga, so it's understandable that they aren't really too much ahead, but I love what you just said. They have this Yang playing one of his signature heroes for this tournament. He's always on these saving Abaddons, Omni Knights, tanky beasts that also bring a lot of utility, and he's one of the reasons why they're controlled.
Spotted him, gets off the Ice Blast, whatever damage he can. Actually, with that clumsy net, he'll make the Cold Feet land. That's a nice item for him.
Rocket him. Nah, he's fine. There's no way.
He's good. It does serve as an early warning system for Arteezy to get out of there. Indian tanking the Smoke Ink. Notice that these teams at the top, man, they've gotten really good at their supports, just always positioning to tank Smoke Inks.
It also gives a lot of info to Vici Gaming about the decision making and the strategy idea for this game of EG, because they want to invade that Radiant jungle and make it safe for the Naga. But with that one, that's actually really significant. You did kill an AA, it's not big, but you stopped them from invading and getting vision.
Jeez, look at this damage coming out.
That's the bow. That's the bow with Maelstrom. You can't mess with that. He does have a BKB now, however.
We saw this earlier, a Doom trying to build a BKB into an Arc Warden and just kind of run at him. That game did not turn out so well for the Doom, but maybe it'll be better for EG here.
I think he needs the BKB as well right now, as Arc Warden has that Grove Bow, and because of that, you're just much less resistance to magic. Those spark rays, the flux is going to hurt you. It will kill you off if you don't have.
They're all smoked up around here, but Eurus, I'm sure he saw that Devour from Ramses. He ate the siege creep, and
they send Yang instantly on top.
Yeah.
He's the one that cannot die literally at the moment. He has a pipe completed Essence Ring and Vlad's. He's the one defending their towers, and the main reason why they only lost one single tier 1.
See the mobile hero problem. The panel brought it up. As long as you get through that laning phase, which was a little awkward for Vici Gaming, as soon as you hit that mid-game window.
Here we go.
Ramses is nice. Toss back. PYW into the tier 1 tower. DY's going to be there. There is going to be a hook shot coming out, as well as an Ice Blast. Gets off the Chain Frost. They doom up Ori and instantly take him out. They drop double ultimates because they see this as a huge window to be able to take some map control back. They're going to bring down that tier 1 mid tower.
Ramses picked up that BKB and he literally said, "Come at me." He just stood there and he baited.
And PYW, well, he did just that. He blinked in, got Ramses in close range. They are going to be able to bounce back, and it looks like pick off Fly here as he's left behind. But still, the tower gone, and in the end, you still lost Ori.
You lost 2 heroes. Also, remember when they showed up on the top lane? They were pretending that they will push that tier 1. It's so strategic. You make the Abaddon TP top, and then you make a move on mid. Instantly, there's no rescue. There's no aphotic shield, and you know that you will be able to get those kills. Really good play. At the same time, why did Ori go so deep? Why did he approach them? He's an Arc Warden. He needs to keep distance. He got doomed.
Seems like he just did not expect that big of a blitz by EG. BKB for Arteezy as well. Still will not solve that magnetic field problem, but it will help significantly in his survivability in team fights. It's just a lot of magic damage, so as they get these BKBs, EG, I think they may actually have the team fight edge.
Really good by Crit. He scouts the Rosh instantly. He uses his rocket.
But doesn't matter. With no Sanity's Eclipse, no Doom.
They have Song, so there's always a possibility of even just snatching the Rosh if they're not careful. Also, Naga is ready. Vambrace, Manta, and Diffusal. He can join these fights super easily.
Abed might just be able to chase him out of the pit if he throws illusions at them, right? A little bit of mana burn goes a long way in how confident you feel for a team fight. Arteezy's a little bit too far out there, though. And no imprisonment either to be able to buy himself time here. He's just going to be caught and brought down.
He was so far out. He knew that they were doing Rush, or trying at least. And if they go out of that pit, of course they will go for you.
They had plenty of vision. They have illusions to throw into the pit. They have the Clockwork Rocket Flare. If you want to farm anywhere, you know, farm a little safer in the neutrals, farm your triangle.
I don't know what he was doing there. That wasn't a great play.
Yeah.
He has a Pikes. He definitely does have some mobility, but the Tiny has a Blink Dagger completed, and Ember Spirit is just Ember Spirit. You won't get away from him. Crit, look at this. Ori.
The big one. They do have the Ice Blast coming in. Lock him down underneath the cogs. Can Crit do enough damage with the Rocket Flare and a little bit extra? No, they're actually going to be able to stop that Euphonic Shield, and Ori will survive, turning, killing Crit. He's just got too many stats at this point in the game.
Damn, that was a good attempt. I can't blame him for that. It was really nice. They tried to go on him. Arc Warden is very squishy this early on, but not squishy enough when you have Abaddon on your team too. So they instantly respond and they save him. EG making a couple of mistakes here and there, not really stellar performance after a pretty good solid laning stage.
Well, at least it forced a lot of Vici Gaming heroes back, and Naga Siren immediately taking advantage of that, pushing out the bottom lane, taking over that Radiant jungle. They still have to be worried, though, about Rosh taking. And
you talked recently about Abed and how he's usually the flashy playmaker. In the last couple of series, though, that hasn't been the case. He has been going for these Nagas, TAs even, but he usually gets a lot of space, while Arteezy is the sacrificial lamb. He's the one that doesn't farm as much as he usually do, and he's the one that gets carried in the end.
Nice instant BKB there from Ramses, preventing the toss.
Top lane, fly. That's just an easy pick off.
Small little kill. Is it enough for Vici Gaming to feel confident about taking Rosh again?
He's dead for 20 more seconds. It's difficult to decide to go into the pit instantly.
Repair kit, that kind of fits into EG's idea of this game, right? They just want to be able to draw it out until this Naga Siren gets the full 6 slot.
And the Naga Siren is getting there. I honestly believe he could have fought already, but he has the Manta, Diffusal moving towards that Butterfly, which will come in handy. The problem is you're playing versus Ember, who has Maelstrom, so...
Jumping onto Arteezy, the Avalanche also hitting Ramses, preventing him from getting off a Doom. He is going to try and just charge forward on the Ember Spirit. Managed to get off there. The Imprisonment buying Arteezy a little bit of time. They're actually going to be able to get away from this one. The Ice Blast closing in is going to be a land on the Ember Spirit. The Sandy's being drop finish off PYW and gets the kill onto Eurus. 3 dead on the side of Vici Gaming, and now it's EG who hold an advantage around that Roshan.
What a great fight for them. And you could see what I was talking about. Arteezy was the bait. They went on him, they failed to kill him, failed to shut him off, and then also Abed, he joins because he's completely able to fight right now. Look at him, he has 2k HP, a lot of armor, Diffusal, and they go straight for the pit.
They even had the song if they needed to use it at some point to save Arteezy or catch some additional heroes, but it wasn't required.
Also, PYW just moved into OD's ultimate. The hammer just clipped on him as well. He was fine there, but
now,
unfortunate.
And Aegis into an instant smoke up. They're going to run a Vici Gaming. They can smell the blood in the water.
I like this. I like this aggressive movement from them. You can play around the Naga, you can invade the jungle. You know that you have Crit always in the right position to catch Ori out.
Oh, and he's going to find him here. The smoke's going to break. Trying to run him down. Hookshot leading off is going to be able to cox him backwards towards his team. He's going to try and run away to keep himself alive. Ori does have the BKB. Is going to have to turn and fight. Seeing him be killed, maybe fly, getting away. Yang is going to try and help him out. Phonic Shield, Miscroll's not going to be good enough. EG find another big kill on Ori. Can they do a little bit more? No, they're actually going to TP away. Feeling like this is not the fight any longer. Eurus, his BKB cannot stop Abed from being able to TP out. A really clean disengage from EG.
Perfect playstyle by EG. The way they position Naga on mid lane to make Vici think they're smoking behind her. Instead, they go and find the Arc Warden. They force him to use that BKB. Because of that, Yang can't really be useful. He can't shield him, can't heal him. They pick off the Arc Warden and then disengage, losing only crit. So far, EG have been on point after that mid-game engagement. They were struggling a little bit here and there, but the strategy is coming together.
Yeah, certainly. Vici Gaming, they may have gotten an early lead on towers and stuff, but they didn't get the strong advantage of winning team fights against EG because EG was mostly playing a little bit of cat and mouse. They were shying away from Vici Gaming until this point where they have their double BKBs.
The biggest difference that I see right now is the difference between Arteezy and Eurus. I think Arteezy is doing way more with the items that he's got. Mid lane.
Toss backwards onto Ramses. Good setup. He does have his BKB. He's going to turn around, Doom up the Ember Spirit, trying to get the hook shot in. Of course, Saf is going to be able to save yours for a little bit longer, but Ramses is going to stick on top of him, trying to chase him down. Meanwhile, Arteezy laying in his EY, built up a lot of charges. Ramses still going for it. There's a shrine active as well, so Ramses is going to back away from that high ground. It's a good idea, too, because that would have been a great place for Vici Gaming to turn that fight around.
How many teams are going to fall for the same thing over and over again? You can't go on Ramses. You will not kill that beast. Every single time you see, even in the same spot, Ramses is just chilling. He has his BKB off cooldown in a second or two. He knows he cannot die, and then they turn. Vici Gaming should be really happy that they didn't lose more than only the Lich. The Doomed Ember, with the Glimmer Cape, did manage to get to the shrine, and meanwhile, all things said, there is an Arc Warden farming for them, so it's fine.
13-11. Evil Geniuses holding that 3K gold lead, and it might mean more, at least my look at this game anyways, that EG has a bit better late game, but you never know with the Arc Warden what he's able to accomplish.
I think it's about the next tower spike for Naga Siren, for Abed. It's going to be the Talisman of Evasion, which will have his butterfly completed. I think you have to fight before that or somehow
Abed in position here. He does have the Aegis as well as the Song of Siren. They're going to hook shot a little bit lower. They actually managed to get into the back line, but PYW is being destroyed right now by Arteezy. Ori does manage to bring down this clockwork, but he already had to pop his BKB, meaning he's susceptible to Abed here. He's going to be ensnared up as the illusions get on top of him. That magnet field is out. Yang, he pops his ultimate here as Arteezy trapped by the chains. Vici Gaming is just trying to get out at this point, but they're locked in. The gets dropped. Ori dropping lower and lower, and it looks like Yang is unable to save his carry once again. Eurus does what he can with his BKB, but all he really can do is successfully retreat. They brought down the Aegis of Abed, sure, but now Yang, with no ultimate in sight, may get caught by Arteezy. Slowed down, orb after orb, building up. Eurus back, coming into the back line. PYW with his buyback and trying to get a kill on the fly of all heroes, but a fight position is going to make a damn bit of difference. Look at Arteezy's hitting like a truck right now on Eurus. Saves himself with the imprisonment, but EG, they start backing away with the buyback coming out from Ori. They're not going to be able to save Arteezy. They just need to get out. Abed, retreating, still has the Song of Siren if needed, but are they going to go back in? They are. A buyback from Yang. EG, are you going to commit here? You're going to really try this against an event. They're going to get off the Doom, but instantly there is that event. Fortunately, the Interior on yours, they get the kill on the Ember Spirit instead.
Doom the Arc Warden, so there's no magnetic field or help from him, and go on the Eurus. Yeah, if you killed Arc Warden, he wouldn't have a buyback, but that's a really solid kill overall by them in the end anyways. But the way Crit and PYW are matching up in these fights is really crazy, because I feel Crit is doing way much more. Even though he died and he didn't really come back into the fight, he still did a lot more because he forced the BKB from Arc Warden. He separated the fight in two. PYW just died instantly. Then he bought back. He rejoined the fight, but by the time he reached Naga and OD, actually OD and Doom, they just BKB'd. And Tiny was just standing by. He couldn't do anything. His spells made no difference in the team fight. I think though, Abed, maybe if he used the Siren, if the song was used a little bit earlier, the BKB was used only on the clone, not on the main. Maybe OD would be able, but very unlikely.
See the start of this fight again, how they tried to jump in, Crit, as you said, isolating Ori, forcing him to use his BKB, which then allows Abed to be able to chase him down quite nicely. And Arteezy just had totally free space for almost the entire team fight.
Uses Avalanche toss, but there's nothing to use it on.
Yeah, at some point in time, once those BKBs go down, Vici Gaming just have to kite EG as best they can, but it's so hard against some of these heroes.
So if you're Vici Gaming, you need to find a different way to deal with crit. You can't pop your BKBs on that hookshot. If you do, after your BKBs are out, it's free game for EG. There's a Hex almost queued up by the OD here as well in this fight. Or you see the BKB is used on the clone, but not on the main one. But it was a lot of damage.
Just turn around the sleight of fist. Looks like he just wasn't able to get any more remnants out.
Got the lane. Yeah.
Forced to use. Oh, there's the hook shot. The BKB. It's about to wear thin. He doesn't have any remnants. Yours is just dead. Burned out of mana. Tell me, someone saw that. Crit picking up the big kill on Ember.
Skills on cooldown indeed, man. Crit puts you all on cooldown for 70 more seconds with that hookshot. Yeah, Crit is just having a blast. Such a great game by him. I'm enjoying this clock position 4. The way he started, though, it looked like an offlane clock.
Yeah, more and more power spikes coming in. They now have the level 20 on the Naga Siren as well as the OD. And then on top of that, Vici Gaming, with their buybacks, their items have been delayed significantly. No Heaven's Halberd for the Abaddon, no MKB.
Shiva's on Ramses. Hex about to be completed very soon on the OD too. Shiva's on Ramses is really good here versus all the damage from the Arc Warden, but most importantly, slowing him down once you get on top of him and those BKBs are gone. You can just run this Arc Warden down, even with the Doom.
Yang did manage to pick up his Heaven's Halberd, so at least they have a smaller answer to the OD and slowing down those orbs, but what they really need to do is find a way to threaten Arteezy and not just let him play that back line and build up those orb stacks for a big Sanity's Eclipse.
Their high ground defense is still really strong.
Yeah.
You are playing with an Arc Warden, so it won't be very easy for EG to breach their high ground. They could play around their illusions of Naga once the heart is completed, but right now they can't really threaten big objectives without killing Arc Warden first. One good thing, however, is the fact that Ori, one good thing for EG that is the fact that Ori doesn't have travels. And because of that, VG will struggle at split pushing. They have to make moves, so they smoke up.
A full 5-man smoke. Where are they going to be headed to here? Looks like up north.
They really want to take this area around Rosh. They have to ward it up and prevent EG from having a free cheese and Aegis.
Oh, big scythe for the OT, and that's something many of these heroes just will not have an answer to. They can build up as much mana as this OD can.
They should have a no smokes, but with that scythe, this is a huge power spike for Arteezy. He will be able to pick off almost any single hero on the side of Vici Gaming if they're not careful enough.
Makes it even harder for the Ember Spirit to split push as well.
I love the playstyle from EG though, always putting this Doom up front and just circling around him. Meanwhile, Vici Gaming, they are finding space. They are finding some farm. They also took the top outpost.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower.
Arc Warden going. Remember when we talked about crit and we said that they need to find different ways of dealing with him?
Right.
Arc Warden is going for that pike. It is a decent item on Arc Warden, but it doesn't give you a lot of damage later on versus Naga. That's definitely an issue, but you need some ability.
It's funny how he's going back for that. It could have been an item that helped him out much earlier in the game. PYW going to be spotted by the illusions here. Blinks backward before he could be touched.
They have a gem on Ramses, so they're just utilizing that really well, devouring the area that Vici Gaming just went in. You can see that they're dominating the game at the moment completely.
Gonna try and approach this. Get the Hex off on him. PYW gonna be saved by the Aphonic Shield. He backs up the Magnetic Field, also helping him. Ramsey's just gonna march forward, seeing if he finds somewhere that real Arc Warden, but he takes a lot of physical damage. He has to actually saved by the imprisonment before he blinks himself away. That Tempest double doing a lot to keep EG back. They do manage to force a buyback. DY and Ember. Once to be able to find somebody here, it's gonna be Ramsey's caught by the chains, but
they find region for him.
Oh, that's going to help quite a bit.
Vici Gaming has to be super careful now. They don't know about this. They don't understand that EG is able to go back in.
And that's the real Ori. They're going to be locked down. Great hook shot. And the Cox is out as well. He got off the BKB, but they're just going to stay on top of this Arc Warden. And Yang going to be in prison, so he can't even give any heals over to Ori, or he's just going to be surrounded by so many. He's going to try and turn and kill Crit before he buys down, but he's dead. No buyback. Yours is gone as well. Yang's going to be caught potentially. Noxarn looks to be able to chase him away. DY gets back to the high ground, but with the 2 carries dead, it's looking real grim for Vici Gaming.
This is high ground push. Now, Ori, he does have enough gold for buyback, and the buyback will be there in 40 seconds.
Okay.
EG is definitely aware of this, so they will continue pushing for at least an extra 40 seconds. However, Ember Spirit, he has no gold. He bought out. He went for the Lincolns, which sadly for him, he didn't put in the inventory.
They kill any more heroes, they might just be able to end it through the throne. They're going to be able to take out Yang. Looks like PYW forced away as well, shackled up. Arteezy, 25 stacks for the Sandys Eclipse right now, which he still has in the bank. One lane barracks.
10 more seconds. I think this is one lane, perhaps bottom as well. If Arc Warden dies again, if he buybacks now and dies twice, the game is over though.
They might just have to accept BYW going down. BYW into the shrine. Oh, barely heals up just in time. It's 2 lane to barracks for EG. They won't be able to get megas because the tier 2 at top.
Okay, so for Vici Gaming, this is the trade-off. You just had a really bad team fight, but you didn't buy back on the Arc Warden at least. So you're hoping for that late game scenario. You're still hoping for Arc Warden to reach that God mode, but at this stage of the game, I don't see that happening.
Still a problem is with Yang dying, they don't have their 5-man squad up to be able to defend Roshan.
And he's the most important one.
Yeah.
If he's not up front, no one can engage, no one can go in. They take down this Roshan without contest. It's not too difficult for them.
They can get their next round of items coming in as well, like that Aghanim Scepter for the Doom.
Really good regeneration rune though. That would not be possible without the proper rune at the proper time. Naga is so tanky, right? He's so fat. He has Butterfly and the Orb of Destruction that allowed him to take down those 2 sides much easier. Aghanim's picked up by Doom, so you have break now on Abaddon. You can't take him down even without him popping that ultimate. You have to be careful if you're Yang.
Do they have a Mindbreaker on the side of EG? I've lost track of the
Vici Gaming has it. Mindbreaker is on Ember Spirit.
Oh, okay.
But it's in the backpack. He isn't using it any longer.
So at least there isn't any silences to combo up with that break to just instantly kill Yang.
Yeah, they don't truly have silences, I guess. Doom is there, but...
Tempest double. Thanks to the Mjolnir active, will clear out most of those creeps.
Vici Gaming, they're in a rough position. Arc Warden also switched up from going for that pike. He's moving towards the Butterfly instead. They desperately need damage. Ember Spirit... This hero just didn't work out for them so far.
No, it certainly didn't, and it's looking like it may never do that as he's trying to go back for Radiance, but if you look at Abed, he doesn't care about that damage over time. He's got Heart, Butterfly, he had almost 4,000 HP.
He had it queued up as the first item instead of Maelstrom. He was thinking about going that Radiance 10 minutes into the game and decided not to. I think now it's a little bit too late.
The assault begins on the tier 3 tower. Vici Gaming, they need some sort of miracle here if they want to be able to hold against EG. An EG that has stomped them in the last 3 fights and is even stronger now thanks to some item upgrades. They've got the Aegis and Cheese as well.
They just take down this clone. Ori, he has to be careful when he feeds that clone, as instantly EG can go in and hit the tower a little bit. There's no magnetic field.
Ice Flash coming in as Ramses makes the initiation. Do manage to get out the BKB onto the Arc Warden. At the same time, the hookshot catches ZY. Yang, he's going to be kind of caught here. Cogs backwards in the borrowed time as well as the imprisonment, so he's going to be stuck outside of his fountain as he's brought back to life. He's quickly going to be killed. PYW calls it here.
Game over.
Vici Gaming had no chance in that final push from EG.
At after getting that one pick off on the Arc Warden, after that perfect regeneration rune, they engage. I don't think rune was the most important aspect. They played the game really, really cleanly from the get-go. After making a couple of baits,